Hey everybody, Damon D here. David Ellefson, formerly of Megadeth, and Gene Simmons of Kiss say rock is dead. It's all over. Forget about it. Let the good times roll. No, they're dead. I came across this article, and basically the tagline of it is David Ellefson agrees with Gene Simmons that rock is dead and feels that kids are more interested in Facebook and Tesla than starting a rock band. I don't really know what that means. I have no idea what he's talking about. Facebook, maybe he's trying to say that kids are into social media. And Tesla, what does this mean? That they're driving Teslas or they're investing in Tesla? He might have meant Twitter or TikTok. That's all I can think of. Anyway, I have no idea. It kind of comes across as someone who's older, who has just kind of, back in my day, we used to have the Beatles and now we don't. That's what it sounds like to me. Anyway, let's get into this. All right, let's hear this quote from Gene Simmons in this article. He says, from 1958 until 1988, that's 30 years. That's good addition. That's good math right there. Way to go, Gene. So what came during that period? Well, we had Elvis, we had the Beatles, the Stones, Jimi Hendrix, Pink Floyd, David Bowie, and just music that lasts forever. In the disco world, you had Madonna. More heavy guitars, you had, oh God, AC/DC, and everybody else, Aerosmith, and on and on. And you had Motown at the same time, you had Prince. It was a very, very rich musical menu. But you have that now, actually, and I think you have actually more menu now. If you listen to satellite radio, you have alternative, you have Ozzy's Boneyard, you got metal, you got extreme metal, you got liquid metal, you've got all the classic rock, you have alternative. So I'm not really sure what he's talking about. You had prog bands, you had Yes, Gentle Giant, I don't really know who that is. And you had heavy bands, Led Zeppelin, and so on. From 1988 until today, it's something like almost 40 years, certainly 35 years. Who are the new Beatles? Okay, let's stop right there. There aren't going to be a new Beatles. The Beatles are once in a lifetime, once in a generation, once in never. It's unlikely anybody's going to be the new Beatles. He goes on to say, the Beatles, and to a slightly lesser extent, the Stones and Elvis, everybody knew the Beatles. There's a difference between saying rock is dead, nobody's in bands, no one's starting bands, there's nothing happening, and no one is as famous as the Beatles. Those are two kind of different things. I don't really know that they're kind of the same thing. I mean, I know Taylor Swift is probably Beatle-ish, Beatle-esque. She might not be rock, she's probably in the pop world, but there's definitely acts that are really huge, and I don't know that a 75-year-old man talking about the Beatles, I'm not sure how relevant that is to most people of a certain age. All right, now let's move on to the David Ellefson, formerly of Megadeth, comments in which he says, rock is dead in America. It really is. And I know people will lambast me for saying that, but it is. When Gene Simmons said it, everybody hated him for it, but he's right. Unless you're an established band, unless you're Linkin Park, Metallica, Kiss, or Slayer, whatever, to start a new rock band, kids aren't into that shit. They're into Facebook and Tesla. Again, kids are into Tesla. Raise your hand if your kids are into Tesla. What is this? Like, what is that? Are they investing in Tesla? Well, cool, they're rich. The stock is going crazy. Are they driving Teslas? Cool. They made a lot of money if they can afford a Tesla. I can't afford a Tesla, so I have no idea what the hell he's talking about. I think he really wanted to say, again, Twitter or TikTok, maybe. Who knows? Maybe he did want to say Tesla. Yeah, their lives are on their phones. Being a rock star is not cool anymore, like it was for us growing up. So if you've got it established, you can keep it working. So for me, I enjoy South America, Latin America, where they love rock and roll, Asia, Australia. So you leave America, and man, rock and roll is very much alive and well. They champion the legacy stuff. They like the new stuff. So what I will agree on is that, yes, some of those overseas audiences, maybe there's more people that come, maybe they're more passionate than American fans. That's a possibility. One thing to keep in mind is that if you're a band and you're touring South America, Australia, New Zealand, Tokyo, these places, you may not hit those places every year. Like the United States, where, for example, Kiss probably comes through, and Megadeth, they come through every year for years. or every other year. So maybe fans in America have said, yeah, I don't know if I'm going to pay 300, 400, 500, 600 bucks, and Paul Stanley's not going to really even sing. Or they're going to use backing tracks, and maybe they're not even playing. I don't know. That was definitely a controversy with Kiss towards the end. One thing is to say that new bands aren't forming and rock is dead. And the other one is that American audiences aren't passionate or they're not coming to shows. So I think Ellefson's kind of wrapping all of that up into one thing, which maybe there's some truth in there, but honestly, there's a lot of good music. There's a lot of bands all over the world all the time. A lot of things are happening. One of the things I'm doing is putting out my top stoner rock albums of 2024. There was a recent album from High on Fire. The Melvins put something out. Fu Manchu had something out recently. So this idea that rock is dead I don't think it's really true. What do you guys think? And when you say rock is dead, what type of music are you talking about? Because there's a whole wide range of music. This kind of comes off as two older guys that are maybe at the end of their popularity and at the end of their careers in some sense. And a little bit of that back in my day, which is not a place you want to be because you want to be discovering new music, checking out new things all the time. So anyway, tell me what you guys think. And if you like this video, check this one out or this one. This has been Damon D. One world, one rock.